Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today's video going to be a wee roundup of news, primarily having a look at Celtic's 25-man Champions League squad. Also a little bit of an international roundup regarding our players who are on international duty at the moment, and also a little interesting look at how good Celtic's backup 11 would be and how they would do challenging in the Scottish Premiership against all the other clubs in the league at the moment. Before we do crack on with the video, just a wee quick suggestion, encouragement, a reminder: if you are new to the channel and you like the channel and the variety of videos and other features on the channel, please do click that subscribe button. Keep the numbers pushing up towards 1,000. We're at 979 at the moment, so lovely if we could get those extra 21 people subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, please do click that like button. It does help YouTube spread the video and the channel to more and more Celtic fans and football fans. And comment section open for pleasant, polite debating points, discussion points, opinions on this video, the topics, any other Celtic issues, any other areas you want to discuss at the moment. So, main news coming out of Celtic over the last day or so has been we have announced our Champions League squad. No real surprises to it. Brendan Rodgers did have the difficulty of there being one of the main squad players who would have to be sacrificed due to the UEFA rule of there being a combination of 8 homegrown or Scottish trained players in our squad. And so it did mean the exclusion of Odin Thiago Holm and the promotion of Adam Montgomery up into the Champions League squad, as that does bring up Celtic's number to 8 Scottish stroke homegrown players. We've got McGregor, Ralston, Forrest, Welsh and Montgomery, all Celtic homegrown trained, plus the Scottish trained players Bain and Taylor and our new signing McCowan. I think looking at the options Brendan Rodgers had, I think there were 3 players probably who may have missed out to accommodate Adam Montgomery in the squad. There was the option not to have Yang as one of our wide players. There was the option not to have Mike Nawrocki as one of our backup centre-backs, and then there was the option of Odin Thiago Holm being sacrificed in midfield. And I think overall Brendan Rodgers made a good decision. We have got good depth in midfield at the moment. I'm just going to pop up on the screen the full squad. All makes great sense. We've got Schmeichel and Sinisalo as our main goalkeepers. We've got the backup of Scott Bain as our third goalkeeper. We've got Johnston and Ralston at right back. We've got 4 centre backs. We've got Valley and Taylor at left back. We've got a good mixture of midfielders. We've got plenty of depth out wide, and Adam Ida and Kyogo through the middle. And as I said, I think Celtic have done a good thing by bringing in Adam Montgomery. He does fulfil that quota, and he does actually give Celtic a number of different options, as he has in the past playing for Celtic. Played in various positions down the left-hand side, he even played up front, and he did actually have, at the start of Ange Postecoglou's time at Celtic, he did actually play quite a number of games, quite a versatile player. He's then been off on loan, not the happiest time for him off on loan, and his planned half-season loan in the winter window to the end of the season going to Motherwell. Was sadly cut very short after a very promising first game due to a quite significant leg injury that meant he had to come back to Celtic for intensive treatment. However, happily he's fully back to fitness, and he does give Celtic a number of options off the bench. I think one of the other things to remember, which is quite important with the Champions League, you have your main 25-man squad. You also are able to bring in all of your academy B team players if they are 21 or under, which is in essence born on the 1st of January 2003 or later. That does actually mean Celtic can bring into the Champions League squads players such as Francis Turley, who had such a very good pre-season for Celtic, on the verge apparently of a full Northern Ireland call-up. Also talented fullbacks such as Matthew Anderson and Mitchell Frame. And so it does mean actually Celtic have a number of very talented young backups who potentially could come into the full Champions League matchday squads if there were a number of injuries. And I think also Turley's great performance in pre-season maybe also influenced the decision to not play Odin Thiago Holm in the Champions League squad. Interestingly, in the press, there's been quite a lot of speculation from football pundits, a few ex-Rangers players who are pundits as well, debating how many of Celtic's backup players would get into the Rangers first team, and several of them were saying at least half of Rangers' side would be replaced by Celtic's squad players. So I thought it'd be quite interesting just to have a wee look at what would be Celtic's first team and Celtic's second team, and also just a bit of speculation as to what I think, and maybe you think, how that second team of Celtic's 11 would do in the Scottish Premiership up against Rangers, Hearts, St Mirren, Kilmarnock, etc., etc. A couple of positions in Celtic's first 11 are maybe up for slight debate, but this would be my preferred Celtic starting 11. Schmeichel in goals, Alsa Johnston at right back, Cameron Carter-Vickers and Austin Trusty in central defence, with Alex Valley on the left at left back. Greg Taylor obviously runs him very close in that situation. In midfield, McGregor, Engels and Hatate. Out wide on the right, Nicholas Kuhn, on the left, Dyson Maida and Kyogo as our first choice, first team striker. That contrasts with what would be Celtic's B team or Celtic's backup team. Viliami Sinisalo, Finnish international, already with quite a number of caps, even at 22, 23 years old. Right back of Tony Ralston, likely to be playing for Scotland tonight against Poland. Centre defenders, Mike Nawrocki, on the board of the Polish squad before his run of injuries last season and this season. On his left, Liam Scales, going to be part of the Ireland squad for their game against England in a couple of days. And at left back, Greg Taylor was in Scotland's squad for the games against Poland and Portugal, but pulled out through injury. Other option would be Alex Valley in that position, but I've gone for Valley in the first team, Taylor in the second team. Midfielders, Odin Thiago Holm, Luke McCowan and Paulo Bernardo. Out wide on the right, we've got James Forrest, again was in the Scotland squad to play against Poland and Portugal, pulled out through injury as well. On the left, Luis Palma, and who is playing international football in this break for Honduras. And up front, Adam Ida, likely to be Ireland's starting striker against England on Saturday as well. So Basically, Celtic's backup team has an international goalkeeper, international right back, current international at left centre back, current international at left back, recent under 21 player in Odin Thiago Holm in midfield. Similarly, Paulo Bernardo also was in Portugal's under 21 squad and team last year as their captain. We've got Luke McCowan. I think he is, if he has a good season for Celtic, I think he's going to get called up into the full Scottish squad. We've got a current Scottish squad member, James Forrest, on the right, current international Lewis Palmer on the left, and a current number one choice for Ireland, usually at centre forward, in Adam Ida. I think clearly in that case you can see we've got lots of quality as our backup players, and I think if Celtic's number one team and Celtic's number two team were allowed to compete at the same time in the Scottish Premiership, I think Celtics would come first and second, because I think our backup 11 would obviously beat anybody in Scotland over the course of a whole season combined. Be interesting to see what you feel yourself. Just thought it was a wee bit of fun, and I do genuinely think that Celtic have good players in all positions. So if we do have a run of injuries, suspensions, player fatigue, etc., we do have good players to come in as backups, and I think we will see this season, with the way the Champions League is, and hopefully us trying for 3 titles this season, the league and the 2 cups. I think Brendan Rodgers will most likely this season do a wee bit more resting and rotating of players. Finally, just a wee roundup of international matters. We did have one player playing overnight our time in World Cup qualifier. That was Daisen Maeda. He scored the 6th goal in Japan's 7-0 win over China in their Asian World Cup qualifier tournament. Ryo Hatate is in the Japanese squad, but he wasn't actually in the matchday squad, and so was watching from the stands. It is expected, however, he will be part of the matchday squad for the next Japan World Cup qualifier at the weekend. And then hopefully both Daisen Maeda and Ryo Hatate will be injury free and fully fit and able to return to Scotland for the middle of next week in preparation for the Hearts game. The only other player, as far as I can see, who will be on international duty today is Anthony Ralston. I think he would be fully expected to start at right back for Scotland tonight against Poland. As I was saying earlier on, both Greg Taylor and James Forrest were called up for the squad for Poland and Portugal. However, they were assessed by the Scottish national team doctors and medical staff and physio staff, and thought not fit enough to be risked in either the Poland or Portugal match, and so they were sent back to Celtic. It is expected that Forrest, Taylor and Cameron Carter-Vickers will all be available for the Hearts game a week on Saturday, and the Champions League game against Slovan Bratislava a few days later. We do have a number of other players who will be playing over this international break, and I'll do my best to keep everybody up to date with who's been playing and how they've done, and if any of them have scored goals, or if there's been any bad news regarding injuries with players away on international duty, as was the case last year with both Leo Abaga and Ryo Hatate, both of whom had quite nasty, long-lasting injuries whilst away with their international teams. So to finish off, just a wee quick reminder, encouragement, suggestion. If you are new to the channel and you like these videos and the channel, please do click that subscribe button. It pushes up to 1,000. If you like the video, do click that like button. And finally, just a wee reminder, comment section open as usual for pleasant, polite debating points, both regarding the topics of the video and any other issues you want to raise, highlight, discuss. And so until the next video, goodbye and hail hail.